You guys, now for the talk of the town. Michigan visiting Michigan State on Saturday to see who goes home with that Paul Bunyan trophy. Seems like U of M will be rocking with Cade McNamara. I'm interested to see how many snaps JJ will take. But you guys, your thoughts on the game?
All right, so I kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I said, well, you know, how is each fan base feeling going into the game? And I really think if you're a Michigan fan, it's like, we can't lose this game. We're going to be 0-2 against Mel Tucker.
Yep.
We're going to lose yet another top 10 matchup. We're going to lose yet another road game against a big opponent or a rival. I mean, when are we going to step up? And not just we. When is Jim Harbaugh going to step up and win this type of game? And if you're a Michigan fan, it'll all come crashing down on Saturday if you lose. And then if you're a State fan, I mean, I think State fans right now are kind of more in a comfortable position. They're like, living a dream. Like, holy crap, we're 7-0. I can't believe it. This is amazing. We're playing great. We have Kenneth Walker. Peyton Thorne's playing pretty good. Defense looks solid. Secondary, not that great. But hey, you know what? We have really great wide receivers. Cool. Different kind of energy coming out of East Lansing than in Ann Arbor. All the pressure is on Michigan. State loses this game. Mel Tucker is still 7-1. They'll drop to maybe 10th in the nation, and they'll still have their remaining schedule. And maybe they beat Ohio State. Who knows? But, I mean, if they don't beat Michigan, they're probably not going to beat Ohio State. But I think really what people aren't talking about enough is what potentially the defensive front from Michigan is going to do to the offensive line in Michigan State. I think that is a glaring advantage for Michigan this weekend.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons I have Michigan winning this football game. I think they cover as well. I think the talk of the town is, you know, well, J.J. McCarthy, I don't think people are really taking this as serious as they should be. And if Cade McNamara walks out there and makes multiple mistakes, or is just like, hey, it's 3rd and 6, I'm going to dump it off and we're going to punt and we're going to play field position. I mean, that's not how you win road games against ranked opponents. Go look at Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson, LSU. Go look at all the glaring examples in recent history. You don't play scared, guys. And I really think Cade McNamara isn't your answer, but he's going to be the starting quarterback on Saturday. Ideally, J.J. McCarthy walks in at some point in this game and absolutely dominates. But Jeff, overall, I think Michigan have the advantage between the trenches, between the tackles. I don't see how Kenneth Walker can really pop off this game. They're going to need him to. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to have to set up some screenplays, some dump-offs. I mean, they're going to have to try and get him in open space. But I think this Michigan defense is going to give Michigan State's offense more problems than State's defense will give Michigan's offense.
No,
but
that's
keep
a good
in
point.
mind, Michigan are limited through the air. So if you're State and you shut down the run, it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I have here. I mean, both teams have their hands full individually. I mean, a dangerous offense for MSU, serviceable defense. I mean, they were top 10 at one point, top 10 offense, top 10 defense. I don't know where they're at now. They could be even farther than that. But welcoming a top 5 rushing attack in Michigan. I mean, they've been running the ball down everybody's throat. I mean, they're averaging, 300 yards per game? And they averaged 300 last game against Northwestern. I mean, they ran all over them. So it's a matchup of the ages. I mean, their offense, I believe Michigan's is top 11 in the country. Or their defense, I'm sorry. Their defense is top 11 in the country. So the pass rush argument, like you were just saying, is spot on. I mean, 2 undefeated Big Ten contenders with Mel Tucker winning the last matchup. It's kind of a must-win, in my opinion, for Michigan. Big win if they get it, because if they lose to Michigan State, I think all hopes for beating Ohio State go out the window, like you said. But I will say the keys for to win for Michigan is obviously you pound the ball, pound the football, and you're trying to avoid putting Cade McNamara in those 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10 situations where he's going to have to convert you those 3rd downs, or just try and make tough passes through the air. You want to put him in the best situation. Just allow him to I don't want to say game manage, because MSU is a good team. You're not going to be able to game manage, but just kind of keep them with a lead. I mean, that's what you want Cade to do. But get after Peyton Thorne defensively. I mean, for Michigan, like you said, get after Peyton Thorne and Kenneth Walker. One thing I don't know is, can this Michigan secondary keep up with Naylor and Jaden Reed? I don't know. But I do believe in Peyton Thorne's ability to throw the football rather than Cade McNamara. So at least if they do stop the run, Peyton Thorne has those advantages. He can. I mean, if Kenneth Walker, let's say, gets 50, 60 yards, I think Michigan State can still win this game. If they are able to slow down the run of Michigan, obviously, that's the key. You got to. Because if Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins are running all over you, like Adam said, they're gonna beat you and they're going to cover. So, in my opinion, I think State, this is their keys to win. I mean, slow down the rushing attack. I mean, you're dealing with probably one of the best offensive lines in the Big Ten, if not the best, so you're going to have to be physical. I mean, they're physical offensive line, and Michigan State's defense is kind of gets sacks by committee. I mean, they don't have an Aiden Hutchinson. They don't have those, like, marquee players, but they have a multitude of good players, good defensive players that can get after the quarterback. I mean, they don't have a top 3 draft pick on their roster, but I will say this: it's obvious, but make Cade win the game. I mean, that's your game plan. If you're Michigan State's defense, make Cade win the game. That's what you want to do. I mean, that should be the game plan. Make Cade move the chains and not allow him to set up play action. As long as they can control the clock, kind of keep that offense off the field, tire out that defense. I think State can get a win. I mean, it's in East Lansing. I would say it'll be close. I'll say 27-21. I don't know. That's just my feeling.
27-21 Michigan?
No, Michigan State.
Wow.
I think State wins.
Wow,
Yep.
State on the upset.
Yep, that's that.
Nice.
I'll go.
I'm going to go 24-20 Michigan. I think Michigan... Shut up, Fish. I think Michigan wins 24-20. I just don't believe Michigan State can take enough advantage of Michigan's deficiencies. If you look at State's deficiencies, it's really the secondary and the O-line.
Yep.
Now, I know Michigan can take advantage of the O-line. I don't know if they can take advantage of the secondary. I don't think they're going to be beating them over the top, especially if Cade McNamara is your starting quarterback. So I don't see it happening. I think it's closer than people manage. I would even take sub 20 points for both teams into this kind of game.
Could be.
A 17-14. I mean, I'm telling you, this game is going to be super low scoring. I don't see it going into a shootout. I think both teams are going to try and commit to the run, especially Michigan.
Yep.
And if Michigan get their run game going, it's going to be difficult. But I think you got to see a lot of JJ here. You got to see him in, situations 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, where you got to make Michigan State think, is he keeping it?
Yeah. Make him guess.
Even if you hand it off to Hassan Haskins, that split second where the edge defenders are like, is it with JJ or did he hand it off? That's all you need, and that's all the running back needs to hit the hole. That's it. So I hope to see a lot of JJ McCarthy this weekend. I think it's very important for Michigan. Kennedy, who do you think wins this football game and why?
I've got State taking this one. I'm saying
Awesome.
Michigan State 31.
I like it. We got a state room.
Michigan
I like this.
24 is my prediction.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I like this.
I really like Kenneth Walker and Michigan State. I think
I don't see how Kenneth Walker
But
blows up against
Here's
Michigan.
the thing. In my opinion, if Kenneth Walker doesn't go off, I think they can still get a win.
Of course, because they have
Yeah.
they have the deep threats.
Yeah.
They have playmakers at wide receiver, of course.
I feel like Michigan's too dependent on those running backs. Like if Blake,
Absolutely.
so that's kind of the. But you're right. The defensive argument is tough. I mean, if they get after Peyton Thorne and they stop,
I'm actually really proud of both of you. I'm glad both of you are going with State. It makes me feel really good. I mean, I'm a neutral, so I don't really care.
Same here. Yeah.
Me too, but at the same time, I want everyone
I think
to
the
beat
better
Michigan.
narrative, to be honest, if I'm being honest, I think the better narrative for the Big Ten and college football right now is that Michigan wins this game. Harbaugh finally wins against a top 10 team.
I was going to say, he struggles with that, though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Narrative-wise, don't get me wrong, State fans, believe me. But narrative-wise, I think that's the narrative. Now, there's an alternative that I think is very interesting, but I'm not sure how I sell it. Because if Michigan State wins, Mel Tucker's now 8-0. They beat Michigan, but Michigan always loses to ranked opponents on the road.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh never wins these games. So, from a long-term, big-picture perspective for the rest of the year, I think it's better, narrative-wise, if Michigan wins. But if State wins, then they go undefeated into Ohio State, and they play Ohio State. And that's an insane matchup. So I could make the argument for both teams. I'm going to say Michigan pulled this out barely. I like 24-20. Fish, State or Michigan this weekend? Come on, buddy. I need an answer.
I actually think Michigan State's going to kill Michigan.
Wow, really?
Kill?
He's been saying
Yeah.
this. He thinks
I
they're
love
going
it.
to demolish them.
Yeah, I do. By 10-14. Anywhere from 10 to 14 points. Yeah.
Okay.
I've
I
been.
Alright,
love
Fish.
you, Fish. I love this room
Not
right
to
now.
mention,
I'm
I
so
also
glad
think
that
some of the
people-
Michigan fans are cocky, so that has something to do with it.
All right, Alex, you know I'm coming to you. You know what's coming. I need to know.
Westy on the show.
Westfall.
Westy on the show.
Mister, blame me for all your bets, whatever you want to say. Michigan or Michigan State on Saturday? Who you going with?
Gotta go with Michigan State.
Wow.
You guys, this is like a Westy face and voice reveal
This is
for
insane.
everyone.
Is it?
I think so.
I
done
think
it-
so.
He's shown his face before. You
Yeah.
guys are acting
What?
like this is wild
Westfall,
news.
show your face.
He's
Let-
shown his
There's
face
been a few
before.
times, a few times.
Yeah, it's been
I
a
must
few
not pay
times.
attention. But anyway, face reveal.
Wow. So out of the 5 people in the room, 4 took Michigan State.
Well,
I'm
just
the
wait
only
till
one
the
that took
bottom line
Michigan.
comes and you'll get your Michigan energy.
Well,
What
and
is it?
that's what I like too. This whole room pretty much is like not partial to any
no
one
one's
team.
a slappy. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a slappy for State or Michigan.
You know what's tough though? Like your argument with the storylines, it makes a lot of sense in this. Like Michigan can't lose this game. I mean,
Look,
they can't.
I'm not a Jim Harbaugh apologist. He has failed to deliver what he promised and was expected to deliver when he came to Michigan. Let's all be very open and honest about that.
Yep.
Now let's look past that. What he has done in his 7 years at Michigan, well, 6, but this is now his 7th year. Go find me a head coach outside of Lloyd Carr, that has delivered for that consistently for this long. He's never let the team fall to a 5-4 win team in a full season. Yes, COVID happened last year, but before that it was 10 wins, 9 wins, 9 wins, 8 wins, and then a 2-win season in COVID year, and now we're back to 7 wins already. The guy's got your program where it's always been, which is never a threat to really win the Big Ten title, but you win 9-10 games. That's your program, Michigan. Sorry. You're nothing more than that. Harbaugh was supposed to take you to that next level, and he hasn't. Now, can he do it this year? Maybe. But he's got to win Saturday. And I
Yeah.
think it's really tough for me to sit here and justify why you keep a Jim Harbaugh if he loses to State and Ohio State.
Yeah, he's
this
0-2
season.
versus
You
Mel
fall
Tucker.
to 0-7 against State, or 0-6, excuse me, against State, and then Ohio State, and then Michigan State. You'll now be 3-4.
0-2 against their new coach, Mel
Yeah,
Tucker.
0-2
Like,
against
it's a
Mel
bad
Tucker, and
luck.
then 3-4 overall. It's a bad look. It's
yeah,
a bad look.
I was
So-
just gonna say that though. I don't think either of these teams still will beat the Buckeyes.
I don't think the Buckeyes are that untouchable. I really don't.
But
I really
okay,
don't.
But okay, so
I think if
say they
there's
don't.
a season where State or Michigan beat Ohio State's this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
But say they
freshman
don't.
quarterback.
Are you looking at this as like a possible? I know we're not that far into
Go
the
ahead.
season, but a possible like Rose Bowl elimination game. That's what this kind of is like in my brain.
And for both of these teams
Yeah.
on Saturday?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the team that loses most likely finishes the year with 2 to 3 losses. So they're not going to be in consideration. They'll still be a top 15 team, but they probably lose 2 to 3 or more games total. And if it's State that loses, I mean, they probably have 1, maybe 2 losses left to get on their schedule, which means they're winning 9-10 games probably. It's a huge, huge improvement for Michigan State. And probably the same for Michigan. If they lose, they're probably going to lose 1 or 2 more, and they'll finish with 9-10 wins.
Yep.
But that will get Jim Harbaugh fired. You need to beat Ohio State. You need to beat Michigan State. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So, Jim, it's on you, man. You got to change the narrative this Saturday.
We can agree here. They have to win probably their. You said we said 2 out of the next 3 games. They got what? Michigan State, Penn State, and then I believe Ohio State.
Ohio
right?
State at the end of the year.
So they
yeah.
got to get 2 out of
Look,
the 3.
I mean,
they got to get 2 out
Look,
of the
if
3.
I'm honest, right? And I'm a pretty honest guy. I like to think I'm like one of the most honest people that speaks on the network. Because I'm not a slappy like some of the people that work here.
Speak for yourself.
But I have to say, if Michigan goes into Ann Arbor against Ohio State undefeated, and Harbaugh loses that matchup, I still think you get rid of him. I still do. Although he's the best coach you've had since Lloyd Carr, in my opinion, when are you going to take that step to become a Big Ten champion? When are you going to go to Indianapolis? When are you going to make a college football playoff appearance? State have done it. Ohio State have gone to a college football playoff. Michigan State's won a Big Ten. Wisconsin's won a Big Ten. Ohio State's dominated the Big Ten. When are you, Michigan, going to finally deliver and win the damn football games? You haven't done it. And until you prove it, it's really tough for anybody to take you seriously and say, yes, you have a powerful brand. Yes, it's the Wolverines. It's the maize and blue. Congratulations. Why don't you back it up with something special? And I'll be honest, as a neutral, I hope Michigan does it this year. Because I think it's really good for college football if a team outside of Ohio State is undefeated or one loss heading into the college football playoff game. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I think that's really good for the brand, everyone in general in the Big Ten. But maybe I'm wrong. And maybe Michigan gets absolutely stomped this weekend. I don't see it. I think it's a
That's
close
Fish's prediction.
game. I think whoever wins, it's going to be close. I don't see any team being able to give the other team an ass whooping. I don't see it happening.
And I'm wondering too, like if they lose, let's just say hypothetically they lose to State. Do you just and it's a close game? Let's say
You're not
like,
going to fire Harbaugh.
No, not far Harbaugh. I'm talking about Cade McNamara. Like, what do you think's going to
that's my
take?
problem with Cade.
Like they got to
year,
lose
dude.
to put JJ.
You
in.
really got to lose to put the kid in.
Yeah.
How about you put the kid in and you become great instead of just very good?
Yeah.
Because I think JJ takes your team from very good to great. And I think you can beat Ohio State with JJ McCarthy. But not if that's his first game starting of the year.
Right.
Not if he's coming in at halftime trying to salvage the game. No. Maybe Michigan have to learn the hard way, but we'll see.